target these equal lows. This is a poor low, remember, from the market profile, 453. That's how you get there. If the market supports, though, here, which I think is the reasonable first outcome, remember, it's different on the NQ than it is in the ES. The reasonable first outcome is support here for an hourly higher low, right? If we can support that, this is 461. I'm just going to draw it in the middle of the screen, but just so you can see it. 461.75, not 77, goodness. 461.75, there we go. If we can support this, that's here, right? Hourly high or low, back to the equal high, and we'll watch to see if the trend can persevere in the upward direction. Okay, any rally attempts beyond this, there's some room to run, right? And the reason that there's room to run is because if we go to the hourly chart again, we know that there was a ton of volatility back here. Ton of volatility back here as the market was in the woes of all this downtrend. So really the next major level overhead is at 473.25. I would not forecast that for today's session, just noting where we're opening relative to the weekly expected move. Market has done a horrible job of pricing in risk recently. The only week it got it right was here on the shortened holiday trading week, which you can see risk is far greater on the shortened week than it was for this week. Just wild. Anyhow. All right, small caps, real quick. Russell, higher time frame. Let's go to the 4 hour. You don't really have the same do or die zone and areas and things of that nature, but here you go. That is the box. We are outside of the box. We're holding above it, which I do like quite a bit. As we go down to the hourly time scale, you could see something similar. If we can hold up at this area right here, it probably deserves a gray line, being frank. Let's go ahead and turn off the extended. Yeah, absolutely. Why is there nothing here? Why is there nothing here? Why were you guys not on me for not having a zone there? You guys got to call me out when there's nothing where there should be something. You guys got to call me out. Back to the 15-minute time frame chart. This is the 90-day pause high. This is the level right here at 1940. 1940, right? If we can hold that and stay above, great. Small caps are actually helping the narrative that the broad market should be moving higher. Be watching that very closely. 1940. 1940, right around in here. Okay, so look below and fail on that level is good. We can get just opening drive out of an opening range away from it. It's good. We're opening in range in value
in comments
towards the overnight low. So risk reward probably favors the upside here.
Okay.
Overnight inventory is definitely skewed more so net shorts. So again, inventory correction would be higher as well. So tests and hold of 1940.
And video will go up
looking for upside.
Subscribe, give like.
Looking for upside. That's your key. Right.
Take
you
a
can
look.
see it. All these previous inflection points as well, and it's the 90-day pause high. 1940, your big over or under level for the Russell. As we jump on into the IWM, we have a similar structure here, and we actually do have it mapped out on the IWM, which is nice. This high, this, and then, you know, intraday here and here. That's at 192.50. 192.50 right here. So over or under 192.50.
How much money did you make?
That's the only thing I'm looking for out of the IWM out of this morning's open. I'll just be keeping an eye on this number right here. Are we above or are we below 192.50? That's it, right? So that's what we've got out of the small caps. Let's quickly rip through some of the core listed companies. Let's get the job done. 9:22 on the clock. What did we just miss in the chat? We had Jeffrey Jones with the 499. Thoughts on Trump posting bullish stuff all day while flying to Italy, so the week ends very bullish when meeting with European leaders. It's interesting. I mean, it's maybe a
subscribe, give like.
It's an idea.
Videos we show.
I don't know necessarily that I would trade based on that. I think that you probably just bring up a good point that we should be cognizant of any news headlines that ripple out from any posts while on the fly, literally. So I think that's maybe a good call out, just being extra mindful of any posts from Truth Social or what have you. We also had Tyler M earlier on in the chat. Before we get into the core list of companies, we have, what are your thoughts about where we're at in relationship to the weekly expected move, and at what point do market makers start re-hedging if we break outside of it? So the weekly expected move was, that gets set on the Friday of the previous week. So today, at the close of the session, we will set the weekly expected move for next week. Generally speaking, it does update intra-week, right? In theory, you could look at the options expiration for today's session, and that's really what I would recommend you do. If you're super interested in expected moves, I would just look at what the expected move is for today's session, and then make a determination based on that. And that, excuse me, that will tell you where hedging will probably come back into play. Reason being is that if you look at the volume distribution these days of where options contracts trade, like let's just say that, let's go over here onto a blank canvas real quick. If this is days till expiration, right, on the x-axis down here, and this is volume on the y-axis here. Let's say that 0 DTE is here, and then we have 30-day options like this. It looks like this, right? All of the volume transacts on like same day or next
What do
day
you trade?
expiration
Put in
options.
comments,
So you can
please.
get an accurate,
What
idea of
stocks?
where we might be if we just do something like what's today's expected move? 512.
Nvidia is a good.
$5.12 right over here, right? So if you get a move that's outside of $5 today, that probably would start to kick in dynamic hedging. There's no real, at least I haven't run the study. I'm sure there's a study that could be run that says like when we're X% outside of the expected move, that's where market makers will start, dynamically hedging the opposite way. There's probably some,
Again, subscribe,
gamma
give like.
levels and things of that
Okay.
nature that could be of help with that style conversation.
And join
That's not
all
my forte.
live streams.
Not my forte. So unfortunately, I can't give you the answer that you probably deserve. And I would not try to pretend to be an expert on something I am not. So I'm gonna keep it real with you on that one. Because and I'm sure you've seen this too, right? We've all seen the
See you
idea
next
where
live stream.
the market ends up closing on a 3x, 3 sigma move. I think sigma